Hey amigos, good morning. I wanted to do another morning coffee walk with you around to Monte Carlo, but I forgot to take my coffee off the lift. There it is. And so it's just gonna be a walk now, but no biggie. So yesterday I ran into some trouble with the Monte. As you might recall, I replaced all the brake hardware, the front calipers, the rear cylinders, the master cylinder, partial brake lines, and the brakes needed to be bled. And because as you know, having brake fluid in your system instead of air increases your brake performance tremendously. So I started on the rear brakes, and I have a new apparatus, I guess, to simply suck the brake fluid through the system. You just open a valve, you know, at a wheel, and it just pulls the air out of the lines. But over here on the rear, nothing came out, even after 5 minutes of suction. Nothing. So I was like, okay, that's pretty strange. I tried the other wheel, nothing. Tried the front wheels, and the front calipers immediately started to bleed brake fluid. So okay, it was time to look stuff up on the old interwebs, and what I found out is that a lot of let me get a light over here. I found out there's a lot of footage on YouTube about this little thing over here. This is a proportional valve, and what this thing does is in a emergency situation where one of your brakes dies on you, you know, and you push all the brake fluid out due to a leak or whatever. There's like a little cylinder with a piston in this proportional valve, and it moves to one side and it clogs up the line that's leaking. So and there was a lot of footage on YouTube about this, how you have a hard time bleeding your rear brakes on an older GM car. So it was like, yep, found it. So next thing I did was take off the brake line over here. See, it's loose, and but the proportional valve started leaking like a maniac, like immediately. So I was like, this thing isn't blocking anything. It's just emptying my entire reservoir on the floor. So this is not the problem. So next up, I connected a piece of hose to my brake line to the rear, and I put 8 bar of pressure, air pressure on the brake line, and I was watching the rear wheels for something to come out, like, you know, air or like splutter a little bit of brake fluid. No, nothing. So that confused me quite a bit. So I started to disconnect more brake lines to see where the hell it was clogged up, and I found this thing. This is the rear brake hose, and it's mounted with a bolt through this hole on your rear axle, and the top part goes to to the body of your car. And this is rubber because your axle moves and your body doesn't. So you need a rubber connection, a hose connection over here. This hose is entirely clogged up. If I put air pressure on it, nothing goes through. So I've never seen this before. It's crazy, but the car is set like 21 years, so anything is possible. But that costed me like half a day, you know, to figure out what the hell was wrong. And in order to take the hose off, I had to cut my copper brake line because it was rusted solid. So now I already prepared like 1 meter of new brake line. See, I made this on the end so the nut stays on. See, and there's like these little repair kits. You can just shove it on your brake line and clamp it on. And I guess I'm gonna cut it somewhere over here now, because this is easily accessible, and repair the brake line in order to fit the new brake hose. See? And I was quite shocked to see this clogged up brake hose. So I immediately ordered the brake hoses for the front too. And these look a little bit different. And yeah, that's next up. And bleed the brake system again, so we can move the car about, man. Because the engine is running and the tranny shifts. So yeah. But without brakes, it's a little bit dangerous to if the car sticks in drive or reverse, we drive it through a wall, and we don't want that to happen, you know. So yeah, man. On with the battle.